batteries. Alright guys, so I just wanted to talk about the iPod Touch's battery life. I mean, we all know what the iPod Touch is, and we know that it's got a very slim design, whereas compared to the iPhone, it looks like it's a fat device, or the iPod Touch Fat, if you guys want to call it. No, I'm just kidding. And so we all know the iPhone got the bigger batteries, and so it'll last longer. And even though this thing is like 4 years old and this thing is 2 years old, this thing actually dies out faster than this. Okay, it don't matter what the updates is, you know, this dies out longer than this. This is shorter, this is longer. Even though this is a 2nd generation device versus a 4th generation device, this one is just basically blown out of the water. Pew! Hey, now you guys play nice now, alright? Mr. iPhone, you must say sorry to Mrs. iPod. Well, get on with the apology. Alright, how about this then? Mrs. iPod, you say sorry to Mr. iPhone. Wow, you guys really suck. You guys can't even apologize to each other. Well, what kind of couple is this? So Mrs. iPod just told me that because this is a 2nd generation device and she's a 4th generation device, that the device here is actually an old man, so they don't get along very well. Versus 4th generation iPod Touch versus an iPhone 4. Since they're both 4th generations, they'll get along very well, and they'll actually go on a honeymoon. Now, I recently just got this iPod Touch from somebody because they upgraded to an iPhone 4. Their contract was up, so they were like, I don't need the iPod anymore because I got an iPhone 4, so here, you can have it then. And I'm like, okay, thanks. And so I erased it and everything, so I can put my stuff on there. First time I loaded up apps on there, it launched most of my apps crashing. But now, it's not that bad anymore. But the one thing that really kills me so far is the battery life on this thing. It seems like just over an hour, it would just go all the way to 20% battery life left. And the problem is that this thing does not have a battery percentage. Whereas on the current iPhones these days, you have to enable that option so you'll get the battery percentage. Now, for me, this one is jailbroken, so that's how I was able to get my battery percentage, but that doesn't really matter much. As long as your iPhone does have the option for you to enable battery percentage, then go ahead. But in this case, the iPod Touch, especially when it's on the stock iOS, it doesn't have an option for battery percentage. Just so you guys know, you are seeing the battery life right now. That's how much I got left, but it went up to that amount when I actually had the device locked for a while, so that way I can consume battery life. The iPhone, I did not have to do that because I'm like, if it just dies, it dies. So this one, pachoo! I mean, whenever I try to play with apps and games, and then I try to use some of the apps, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you know, those apps really drain the battery so much, especially when I have the brightness so high, like almost high. I would say about 70% for the brightness. And now you guys are probably like, oh, you could just dim it down. Well, here's the thing. How can I see if it's dimmed down? Isn't there a reason why we have the brightness feature in our smartphones and MP3 players? I'm actually going to shut this thing down if you don't mind, because now my battery is draining. And even if having it on like that, the battery does drain. I think the worst battery drain for this iPod Touch, or iPod Touch in general, is, what do I have to say, playing YouTube videos online, or playing videos over the internet. And even when you're playing videos that you have synced onto your iPod Touch, that's a battery drain. That kills the battery a lot faster versus the iPhone being killed. The iPhone, this can last me for over 3 hours. This one, maybe almost 2 hours, I don't know. Or maybe the battery is like almost defective, so I'll probably have to replace the battery if I can take this apart. I especially want to fix that home button because it's sticky. In fact, I bet if I were trying to vlog myself with the front-facing camera, I bet that'll be a big battery drain. Yeah. So I have a question for you guys today. Now, we all know that the iPod Touch 5th generation has recently just been released by Apple. My question to you guys is, did Apple improve the battery life for the iPod Touch on the 5th generation iPod Touch, since it has a bigger screen, you know, a 4-inch screen, so you have 5 rows of icons plus the dock, plus a better camera. Somewhat like iPhone 4S specs with an A5 processor and all that good stuff, whereas this one was like only an A4, so this one was like pretty much its own thing. Leave it down in the comments down below and let me know what your thoughts are. For those of you that do have an iPod Touch 5th generation, have you seen a humongous battery life increase since the 4th generation? Let me know all the details down in the comments down below. If you guys have a 5th generation iPod Touch, I won't be getting that. Can't afford it, so I'll just use this one, even though it was used. But hey, that's okay. I'll see you guys in the next video. You have a good day now and take care. Hey, you guys can't have your backs facing each other. Alright? No, don't go away. Oh man, the couples just broke up.